All right, let's talk a little bit about Joe Woods' defense. What do you think of it, and what do you want to see from it?
Oh boy. Okay. So when it came to Joe Woods' defense, I will say this. I tweeted after week one that if people were tweeting about, getting rid of him and firing him after one game, I just look, I just didn't think that was a smart way to go. But however, you started to see the same things, maybe a lack of creativity when it came to pass rush. You saw some of that with Grant Delpit at the end of the game. But at the same time, a lot of zone coverage, some man, but not as much aggressiveness on defense. If that kind of continues and that kind of snowballs, and especially the ineffectiveness on third down, if that continues throughout the season, yeah, you're going to start to be making more and more of a case for getting rid of Joe Woods at that point. But again, I look at this defense. You have all of this talent, and especially when you look at the way that defenses in the past have taken time to gel. Again, we talk about all these new faces, all these new players. Grant Delpit, he hasn't really played a significant amount of snaps since he got hurt last year. So, this is him kind of getting adjusted to not only getting back to playing at the NFL speed, but also getting used to new teammates. He really didn't play in his rookie season, or he didn't play in his rookie season because he was hurt. So again, you're having these guys getting used to playing with each other. And on top of that, having the coaches getting used to having these players available. So, I saw it with what I saw from Joe Woods' defense. I have concerns, and I look at the way that this defense will be going forward. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, because if they don't show any growth or really show the same signs of, ineffectiveness on third down, lack of creativity when it comes to pass rush, all of a sudden then, yeah, you're going to start to see more and more of a case where Joe Woods possibly could get let go at the end of the season, or, if it continues to spiral, possibly during the season. So, again, I look at the way that this defense played on Sunday. I was not happy with it, but at the same time, I want to see how they grow and how they progress as the season goes on.
Yeah, the concerning thing is I thought the line would get more pressure, and it just hasn't been there. It's one thing against Patrick Mahomes, and I know Tyrod Taylor is athletic and all that. He doesn't scare me like Patrick Mahomes does. And then you didn't get pressure really on Davis Mills either, who's a rookie.
Right, and that was my biggest thought going into the game. I thought the Browns should be able to create a lot of pressure along that offensive line, which, again, I know you got Laramie Tunsil. You have Titus Howard on there as well, but, a relatively inexperienced offensive line. I thought that Clowney, he had that hit at the end of the game, but outside of that, I thought that overall they would be able to generate a lot more pass rush than they really showed on Sunday. And, that was the one thing, is that whether it be getting creative with, cornerback blitzes or safety blitzes like we saw with Grant Delpit at the end of the game, overall, I think that you need to have a little bit more creativity to, free up some of those guys to generate that pressure, so that Davis Mills, all of a sudden that internal time clock starts going off, even when he isn't necessarily getting pressured. That causes more of that confusion that you see week in and week out for some of these younger quarterbacks. So you got to see some of that, at least from week to week, from Joe Woods. And I'd like to see more of that, quite frankly. So that's the one thing. I just need to see more growth overall from this team and from this defense.